fellow human light beings. This is Mahadeva the Thunder Wizard. Welcome back to the thunderwizard.com YouTube channel. So this is the solar flash update for November 16th, 2023. It might still be November 15th if you're watching this live in the other side of the world. So we need to be talking about the shift that's coming. We're in the midst of it, and I'm seeing the strongest ascension symptoms perhaps in the history of the human race. And it's creating that 5D to Earth shift, and the pressure, even among people who are awakening, is either blissful or it could be hellish. And that is because of what we are experiencing. Mother Earth is getting ready to reincarnate. She is going to reincarnate. So she's not just going to shift and be the same being that she is now in terms of her personality. She is going to go through the same process that we do when we die and go into a new incarnation. We start off as an infant. We start off as a baby. We start off with a clean slate. So she's getting ready. She's getting ready to reincarnate, and she needs us to take care of her. 10 rules of the Solar Flash Ascension event, in case you're new to this channel, is number 1, everything is energy. There's no such thing as actual physical matter. Everything is energy. Physical matter is energy vibrating at a certain frequency is number 2. Number 3, this Earth is a simulation at a specific energy frequency. In fact, this Earth is a cut and paste. It's an Earth that is an in-between state. Earth has actually been vaporized. We're getting ready for the new one, and this is the cut and paste Earth that we're living on until we get ready for the new one. Number 4, your mind is a frequency antenna. So where you focus your meditation energy, your meditative mind, this will determine the frequency that you pick up energies, thoughts. It's very important you take responsibility for that. Number 4, as I said, your mind is a frequency antenna. Number 5, your body is an energetic frequency projector. The chakras are not things that open. They are energy projectors. And you actually project onto the screen of physical reality and create it with your energy systems. Number 6, your soul is a neutral observer. Your soul is eternal. Your soul is not the one that's having all of the emotional interactions. Your soul is not the one that's sad, angry, depressed, anxious. Your soul is neutral. Number 7, your chosen beliefs dictate your choices. So you cannot just be stuck in your head. If you choose to believe something, that is going to result in your choices and your actions, which determines your reality. Number 8, your choices change your frequency. So you can't just stay stuck in your head. If you think you can do that, you're going to come up with choices, and that will determine your frequency, which will determine which Earth you live on. Number 9, your frequency determines your dimension. You want to be in the 5th dimension? That is something that is achieved by shifting your frequency. Number 10, you are responsible for your frequency. Do not be lazy. Do not wait around for the shift to come so that you can then go into blissful 5D. I mean, that might work for some of us, but do not be so careless to think that just by sitting around that maybe you'll shift up and you won't have to do anything. No, nothing is happening in this world right now that is not something that we are personally, consciously interacting with. It is our choices. So before we get into the strongest ascension and symptoms in history and the blissful or hellish awakenings, please take a moment to understand what this channel is about. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit the like button, the thumbs up, all that stuff, so that we get the traction. I mean, I'm still surprised that we're not at 1 million subscribers. Why we're still hovering around 20, 25,000. And even among those 25,000, maybe, if I'm lucky, 1,000, 1,200 people will view the videos. So I need your help to get the word of this channel out. Like, subscribe, post it on your Facebook account, Twitter, blah, blah, blah. And understand that this channel is not just me talking. Now, I'm going to go into some things as I do every time, and it's interesting, and I go probably deeper than anybody I listen to on YouTube about what is happening. I share with you my personal experiences with interdimensional light beings. I'm not a channeler. I'm not a prophet. I'm not a psychic. I'm just a human being who has actually created working relationships with higher dimensional extraterrestrial beings. You might even call them angels, and they work with me on a daily basis, taking me to different places and teaching me about what is really going on in this multiverse that we live in, and getting me ready for this next 5D Earth, which is coming, and I will share all of that with you. But listening to me talk isn't enough. You have to do the work. Just as we looked at here, your frequency is a matter of your choices. It's a matter of your beliefs, and it is absolutely connected with your actions. So the easiest way, if you want to know the easiest, fastest way to shift your frequency so that you can get into 5D, you do physical actions. You don't have to wait around to be emotionally or psychologically motivated. That's the biggest mistake that humans make. I'm going to wait until I feel like it. I'm going to sit around and try and get myself into feeling like it. By the way, this is why people do drugs, among other reasons. They do drugs to mimic the effects of 5D. When we get into 5D, nobody's going to be doing drugs. I promise you, people are going to be so completely high. There's going to be so much DMT in their brain and so much Kundalini going through them in the bliss. Nobody's going to need to do anything to alter their consciousness. But people alter their consciousness also because they're trying to give themselves the feeling they think they need in order to act, and it never works. You have to act first, regardless of how you feel. So the easiest thing to do is to do physical movements. Now, there are very powerful, very simple, scientifically proven movements and postures that shift your frequency up. Just putting your hand like this, you see people meditating with this mudra. That's because it does something to you energetically. So I have the most powerful system in history. I know that sounds grandiose, but I wouldn't say it if I didn't believe it. I've been practicing it and studying all of the most powerful energy practices all over the world for 30 years. And if you go here to thunderwizard.com and subscribe to the Warrior 90-Day Challenge, just go in and press play, follow the instructions on the video, do the energy practices that I do, and you'll get access to all three energies, which I've talked about recently. Kundalini, which is the fifth dimensional energy of awareness. Chi, which is prana or life force energy, which attaches you and connects you to the force of life, which gives you strength and power and confidence and the ability to take actions you wouldn't normally take. And the third one, which is the least known and perhaps the most powerful, which is the electromagnetic energy which surrounds the heart. There's a reason why we, jolt people with energy to bring them back to life, because the soul needs to be in this electromagnetic egg. But if you can take that electromagnetic energy and empower it so that it fills the whole body and then goes out in the aura, you move from being an average person who has to keep their soul safe from the craziness of third dimension. You move from that into a powerful being who has the ability with their energy, just the aura that you have, to drive away evil spirits and negativity and heal and shift and attain the highest awareness that you can, even in the third dimension. So to get all those three you go to thunderwizard.com, subscribe to the Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong. Here at 923.thunderwizard.com, I'm giving away all of my video teachings, including the most powerful energy practice, which is connected to this heart center. And it is called the Maoshan 5-element spirit fighting forms. That I would be well within my rights to charge $10,000 just to teach it per person. I'm giving that and every other teaching away almost for free. Go here to 923.thunderwizard.com. All of my books you can find at michaelwilliamdenny.com, or you can just type in my name, Google, Kindle, or Amazon, and you can see all my books. Interdimensional Revolution, Extraterrestrials Are Coming to Earth, and the most important, The Shamanic Secret Commandment to a Perfect Life. All right, now I got all the business out of the way. Listen, guys, there's also free stuff on my channel. If you go to the playlists, do the Awakening the Immortals. Somebody today just, this is the second person who's done this, by the way. Somebody left a message and said that when they did the Awakening the Immortals, they left their radio, their walkie-talkie, their little, handheld ham radio. They left it on. And they did the Awakening the Immortals, and as they were doing that, they could feel higher dimensional beings come in and guide them in their practice, and then they came through on their radio. The radio came alive, and whenever that happens, which is impossible to do, you can't do it from another radio, make those kinds of noises. It means that literally higher dimensional extraterrestrials are signaling to you that they are there with you. In fact, it is my belief that in order for the radio to do that, a being has to literally physically touch the radio to make it do that, because they have such powerful electromagnetic auras. So doing the free practices, the Awakening the Immortals, the Qigong, doing the guided interdimensional meditation. If you don't take my word for it, talk to interdimensional beings yourself. Find out what is happening to this world. Shift into other dimensions. Have your brain be filled with Kundalini and with DMT that your brain naturally produces under those conditions. And then do the 12 steps to 5D. All right? Do those things. If you're new to this channel, trust me, you've never experienced anything like it. I can guarantee that. So the strongest ascension symptoms in history. I'm still watching this happen. What is happening, I'm finding, especially with people who are opening themselves up to this. Now, one of the things you don't want to do, if you want to have a very mellow awakening experience, the one thing you don't want to do is ask me to meditate for your awakening. Okay, so the last thing you want to do, because when people do that, they end up having these very, very crazy, powerful awakening experiences. And the thing about awakening, unlike what you may have heard in all of the love is light, new age nonsense, awakening experiences is about dying to your third dimensional attachments, which means the more attached you are to your three-dimensional reality, and I don't care how spiritual you think you are, if you're walking around in a three-dimensional body, you are attached to the third dimension. You are going to experience death on a psychological level. You will experience shifting on a physical level, which will take you out of your third dimensional reality. When you go to another dimension, when you astrally and psychologically go to another dimension, it is a challenge. And so I'm seeing this, I'm hearing stories about this, people who are already enlightened, awakening, people who are moving towards their spiritual path. They are experiencing this, and like I said, don't ask me to meditate for you if you aren't prepared for a massive, huge experience. But it's not just me that's doing it. It's the universe is, and always has been, but especially now, is looking for people who are ready. And when you show the slightest interest and you reach out, they will come to you and they will give you these awakening experiences. You might be asking me, well, I'm not having these experiences. Well, that's what I'm here for. Do the practices I'm teaching. You've tried the interdimensional meditation, nothing's happened. You've tried meditating and nothing's happened. Great. That's why I'm here. I know the hacks. I know the most powerful cheats. I've learned the most powerful practices, which those of you who are doing this, by the way, just the Awakening the Immortals, that practice, if I had given that out for free 10, 15 years ago, it would have been seen as a blasphemous thing to do by the Taoist teachers that I had. Because to release that kind of energy and have uninitiated, just average people do it, you are opening up portals to other dimensions that in past times would have just been wrong to do unless unless you really committed yourself to wanting to die to the third dimension. It gives you access to such power that the average human, before all this shift happened, shouldn't have access to. When I first was introduced to this about 30 years ago, and the first day that I was doing it, I had this huge energetic awakening in my body. And a being was there. I could feel it to the left of me. And the being said, "You've been chosen to do this." And then I saw a picture of a nuclear bomb going off. And the being said, "If you misuse this power, it will be taken from you. This is incredibly powerful." This is being given away for the first time in history for free, without having to climb up some mountain and sit in some Taoist monastery hoping to be taught. This is being given to you. Take advantage of it. But be prepared. To the extent that you are willing, to the extent that you are desirous, and depending on your karma, your destiny, you will be pushed to the limit if you ask for it. Or what are the benefits of it? If you seek out this awakening, you'll never be the same. I guarantee you the blocks that you're experiencing will begin to go away. You're going to have feelings about it. You're going to have emotions about it. But those emotions that will come up, you will think, "Oh my God, I'm having all these crazy new emotions." No, they've been there this whole time. They've been operating under your conscious radar, and they've been forcing you to act in ways that sabotage you. You want to know why you're physically ill? You want to know why you're struggling with finances? You want to know why you're struggling with relationships? You want to know why you keep attracting dysfunctional people? Why you're still miserable? It's because underneath your conscious awareness is a bunch of really intense feelings that have never been dealt with, and you're not consciously aware of it. In fact, you put all of your effort into keeping it down. There's an individual in my life who is attacking me personally in ways I've never seen before. And I know why. And the reason is because that person knows, on an unconscious level, knows that I know what's really going on with them. And they also know that if I chose to, if I chose to start opening up and telling them what was really going on with them, that the pain would be unbearable. So what they've done is consciously convince themselves that I'm this evil, horrible person, and they're doing everything in their power to silence me, to do everything so that I won't open up that Pandora's box within them. Because they know, they can feel that everything's got to come out. And that's the sad part. People who have been traumatized, been abused, gone through pain, we learn how to push it all down and make ourselves comfortable, but we can't do that anymore. The universe won't put up with it. If you have a destiny to shift to 5D, then 5D is going to come for you. 5D is going to come for you, and like Kali, you're going to experience it in a very intense way. Kali is an Ugra deity, which means horrifying. And as you know, you've seen pictures of her. She's got blood coming out of her mouth and she looks crazed and her tongue is sticking out. She has severed heads for a necklace. She has severed arms for a skirt. And as you've heard me say before, this is actually the mother goddess coming to save her child from what? From her own unconscious, her own fear, her own self-hatred, her own insecurity, her own lack of confidence, all of the negative stuff that we think is protecting us from our pain. She comes at you, and people call her the goddess of death. But she's not the goddess of death. She's actually the goddess of life, but she is coming to destroy the blocks within you. But if you are attached to those blocks, if you believe hiding from your pain, doing the self-destructive things you're doing, the drugs, the alcohol, the other addictions, hiding from your issues, if you think that is protecting you, your mother will not allow this anymore, and she will come at you, and you will think she's coming to kill you. So you can either have the worst awakening experience of your life, or you can surrender and you can consciously go through the process. You can mourn, you can cry, you can get angry, you can get sad, and you can release that, release all of the resentments, release all of the self-hatred, release all of the fear, the doubt, the blocks, and start to see yourself for who you truly are. Because when Kali's coming at you, she's doing it because what she sees is she sees this deity, this divine, infinitely powerful being who's pretending to be this stupid, idiotic, dumb little human who's being forced to reincarnate because false beings of light won't let them. That is just a game we play so that we don't awaken to our true identity, which is infinitely powerful, which is godlike, not godlike, but you are all deities. The higher dimensional beings that are coming here, all of these hundreds of thousands, if not millions of light beings that are descending on Earth, they see you as a God greater than them who's decided to go into this virtual reality game and wipe your memory and act as though you're a tiny little human clunking around. They have nothing but unbelievable awe and respect for your bravery to do that. But it doesn't change the fact that if you don't choose to awaken from that game avatar you've taken on, if you do not choose to awaken, then you will have a very challenging awakening. And that's assuming that you awaken. This power that is hitting us now, which is called the solar flash. The solar flash event began officially December 21st, 2022. Light beings told me the night before. They took me to some planet somewhere with, it was like an amphitheater filled with people, and there were light beings there talking to it. I could see a bunch of people's auras, like their astral bodies. I could tell that people were either asleep and dreaming or they were meditating, because there was as many astral bodies as there was physical bodies in the audience. And there were some light beings at the front of, looked like an amphitheater, and they were saying, "It's begun. We've called you here so you would be aware to know that tomorrow the solar flash event is beginning. The ascension has begun. And this is only the first of many, but go and start changing your life, telling people about it, and walking towards this new reality." And sure enough, the next day, 7 o'clock in the morning, I was woken up by the power of the sun coming in with consciousness. The sun was now a light being that was coming into my room and waking me up and saying, "Go look outside." And I went and looked outside, and the sun was coming through the clouds in this really weird way, and there was a weird light to it, and I could feel nothing was ever going to be the same. And I felt this bliss and this joy. And it turns out that was the first of the big solar storms that hit the Earth as a result of this solar maximum we are experiencing right now. And the solar flash is a series of solar waves of love that are hitting Earth with higher vibrational frequencies coming from the galactic center. Scientists are already saying, I've listened to videos of scientists saying, we have measured gamma radiation coming out of the sun, and that's impossible because the sun doesn't create gamma radiation. And we know this gamma radiation is coming from the center of the galaxy where the black hole is. They just don't know how. Scientists are telling us that the flash is here. The flash has begun. So we are in the midst of this, and the reason why everything is going to hell on Earth is because people are flipping out. The dark forces, the dark force elites that are running this world are panicking, and they are literally trying to create Armageddon because they believe that if they do that, Jesus will come. So it is important that you do not, unless you happen to be somebody running from bombs or missiles, unless you're in that kind of, or hurricanes or earthquakes or all of the crazy things that's happening, unless that's happening to you, you need to not let that distract you. Focus on your path forward. My suggestion to everybody is find a spiritual path to your ascension and make that your primary focus in life. I give you more than enough tools on this channel. I'm not the only game in town, but from my experience, you're not going to find anything more powerful. That's for sure. The 923, the 90-day challenge, there's nothing more powerful than that. Even the free stuff, there's nothing more powerful than that. But what I'm seeing with people who are resisting, people who choose, again, your choices determine your frequency, which determines your actions. And your actions determine your frequency, which determines your choices. It's this, this hamster wheel. If you choose to stay where you are asking for misery. If you choose to rely on old excuses, I can't right now, I'm in too much pain. I'm hearing people say things like, I should be given a break because life is really hard for me right now. What I just have gone through, I'm having so much physical pain right now. Well, you're having physical pain because you are fighting against the energy that is coming to shift you to the next level. If you continue to indulge in being, forgive me for saying so, a child. Children say that. I'm too little. I can't do it. Feel sorry for me. They cry. They have temper tantrums. Well, I'm here to tell you the universe is no longer going to allow you to have childish temper tantrums. You're going to have to choose to take difficult actions and change your focus, change your intention about your reality. So here's an easy thing to do. Don't try and struggle with trying to be perfect about this. Be wherever you are, have whatever feelings you have. Go do the interdimensional meditation. And every time I make a video, I always end the last picture on the video is this quantum field meditation to reprogram 3D physical matter into whatever you choose. I won't go into all of it, but you can go to the light realm at the center of the universe. You can choose to do that. Imagine yourself leaving your body, going out of Earth's atmosphere. Just imagine it, and then go to the center of the multiverse where there is just light. And in that place, you can call it the quantum field, you can call it the heart of God, you can call it whatever you want. When you get there, start asking yourself, what is it that I truly want? Not what I think I can get, not what I think I deserve, not what I think is possible, not what I think I can afford, but what do I really want? In a perfect reality, a total fantasy, unrealistic reality, what do I want? And then imagine that world. Imagine that thing. Don't worry about money. Like if you want to if you want to live in a mansion, don't try and imagine money coming to you. Just imagine yourself walking around the mansion feeling free and happy. The universe will provide it for you. Imagine your perfect health. Imagine happiness. Imagine all of the things that you'd like to have. And be willing to learn. Tell this light, say, I am willing to learn. I am willing to be wrong about my understanding of myself and reality. I am willing to take risks and do different things. Just, I ask that you help me. You give me the power to do it. If you're able to do that, I can promise you your life will change, but you got to do it. You got to do it deliberately, and you have to do it consistently, and then you have to follow through with the actions. Go and move into that new apartment. Go ask that girl out. Go start that new business. For me, buying all the surfboards I want to buy, going surfing and starting new video campaigns, whatever it is for you. So the hellish part is going to come for people who are choosing, listen to my words, who are choosing not to take action, who are choosing not to take actions that are different, that are frightening, that are risky, that are new. People who are choosing not to change. You must change. You must be willing to change everything about you. You must be willing to look at what your destiny is and who you are. Because when you find out who you are, you know, this is one of the interesting things. You would think that if somebody came to you and said, oh, by the way, you are this infinite deity that rules a galaxy when you're not in your human form. You would go, I'm a deity, right? But what happens when you actually experience that? What happens when you go to a dimension where you see and experience that? I guarantee you it is not the same. It's not an ego magnifying experience at all. It is a sobering, life-changing awakening that forces you to come back to your third dimension and die. It's very hard to be full of yourself and to be petty and to whine and complain and have resentments over petty little things when you're aware that you are this multi-dimensional being that creates universes. And when you realize that's who you are, when you're not in this video game, it's very hard to take this video game seriously. And at the same time, it's also very intense because you believe you're dying. You believe that your survival depends on believing you're this tiny little nothing thing. So it's not at all what you would think, coming to find out how immense and powerful you are. But that is the fifth dimension. What I've experienced by interacting with higher dimensional beings, this ladder of consciousness we talk about, demons, ghosts, dark spirits, if you want to call them false beings of light, they're not higher dimensional beings, they're lower dimensional beings. And lower dimensional beings means that 2D, they don't have the power to control you. They only have the power to influence your emotions and your energy, which you choose to respond to. But they may lie to you and say, yes, we force you to come back and we force you to incarnate so we can feed off of you, but they're lying to you. Those are demons. The third dimension is where we live, and the most evil, destructive beings in the universe are not demons. They're humans. They're not reptilians. They're humans. They're humans that have a tremendous amount of power and still have access to the old technology from previous worlds. This world has had numerous worldwide empires with technology far beyond. In fact, I just confirmed this scientifically, that scientists still do not have any idea how the Pyramid of Giza was built. whenever they go through and try to test because archaeologists have come to a bunch of theories about how, they create this dirt ramp with the thing and they and when scientists actually try and pull that off, they realize there is no technology. Humans do not have the ability. It's also known, it's well known, that the Sphinx and the pyramid are more like 30,000 years old. And that was the last big world empire that had technologies that were both physical and spiritual, far beyond our own technology, and that is gone. And that's the latest one. There were ones before that. And the elites are people who, there's a small core of them who have access to some of this technology, this spiritual, energetic technology that looks like magic to us. And these people are third dimension. These are the most evil people. These are the most powerful ones. And they do have the ability, if you allow them to hypnotize you into doing all kinds of things to destroy yourself. Don't listen to them. And we have aliens, which are not ETs. And of course, animals are in the third dimensions. And then we have terrestrial interdimensional beings like Sasquatch, earth spirits, and 5D shifted human beings. They do exist. There are human beings that have already shifted into 5D, and they've been doing it for thousands of years. You know them as spiritual masters like Babaji. These are people who are still walking around in a physical body, but they're in a frequency just above ours in what we call the 5D, which would be a higher dimensional aspect of Earth, which is where we're headed. The 5th to the 9th dimension, you have extraterrestrials, not aliens. Extraterrestrials, you have light beings of all kinds, both physical and non-physical, and you have the councils. The councils are the beings who are making the decisions about how to best manage knowledge and energy for those of us that are shifting. You would not believe all the councils coming together and communicating and talking about, the ETs that come to Earth, not the aliens, the ETs that come to Earth and interact with people, the angels that come to Earth and awaken people, they have been given orders from councils who have said, okay, this person, Mahadeva, the Thunder Wizard, we need to give him an empowerment. So I want you to put the idea in his head to start doing CE5, June 2022. And then when he does it, after a couple of times, then you, Mantis being, you remember him from past life, you're going to go down and you're going to completely open up and change his reality and his awareness. Your experience, you're doing the Awakening the Immortals and your radio goes off and you start to see another reality. That being has come to you because there's a council that knows all about you, and they send out instructions and suggestions, and they're meeting all the time to try and figure out how to best get knowledge to human beings to awaken. These beings are in the 5th to the 9th dimension. And from the 9th dimension on, we have deities. Shiva, Kali, Lakshmi, Odin, Thor. These are beings at the 9th dimension at the very least or above. It's a whole other crazy reality. And by the way, you exist in those dimensions as well. You just don't realize it. You have timekeepers and architects. These are the beings that are able to, you want to talk about time streams and all that kind of stuff. Those are the beings that deal with that. I've spoken with them, interacted with them. They're very interesting, powerful beings. Very unusual feeling to them. And then at the 10th dimension and above, you have the supreme deity. God is not what religion has been told to you. The supreme being, at least up to that level, is a being that is both masculine and feminine. Somebody asked me, is that like Shiva Shakti? And I said, no, Shiva Shakti is sort of one level down. There's still a little bit of separation between the two, but they come together. This is one being that is as I've shared with you guys before, as one being that is both masculine and feminine. And if you look on the right side of the yin-yang, the light is the external masculine. So in the third dimension, masculine is light. But when you go into higher dimensions and you go deep to the source of the masculine energy, it's actually a dark energy filled with all kinds of, electrical. It's the pure source of pure power, where all storms and energy comes from. And then in the third dimension, you see on the left side of the yin-yang, the dark is the feminine. And in the third dimension, the feminine is seen as a darkness. It's the heavy aspect that creates. It's the illusion. It's the Maya. But when you get to the 10th dimension, you see that the source of that feminine is actually pure light. Pure light energy. And so the sun, this is why our ancestors called the sun Sunna, a goddess. This is why the ancient Vedics called her Aditya, a goddess. By the way, the Gayatri mantra to the sun is to the goddess energy of the sun. At the center of the sun is the goddess energy. The light that comes out, the rays of the sun, is masculine. So when you worship the sun as masculine, you're worshiping the rays of the sun that are hitting you. When you worship the feminine, you're worshiping the source of the sun, the source of the light. And this being at the 10th dimension of yin and yang, this mother-father being, is the one that's created everything, including all of the gods and the goddesses. And as I suspected, there's also a being above that, which I've just barely tapped into in my travels. This is this ladder of consciousness which will be accessible to everybody in the third dimension. You won't have to be a shaman. Now, I imagine there will be people with more ability than others, but you're going to be in a position where you'll be able to access this ladder of consciousness. And once everybody gets there, this whole idea of demons controlling the world, and this whole idea that there's a devil, the whole idea behind false beings of light trapping you, and all of that stuff will go away, because people will realize that once you get out of this matrix, there's nothing but consciousness and love and light, and everybody has access to the ladder of consciousness. Nobody will have to believe in God or believe in spirit. There won't be such things as atheists or agnostics, because spiritual consciousness and light and magic will be part of everyday reality. People just simply intending reality, it will come to life. Mother Earth herself will be a child among us, and she will play with us, and she will create with us, and we will fantasize with her, and those fantasies will become reality. You'll sit with Mother Earth and you'll say, gosh, what would be fun is if there was a unicorn that pooped out Skittles, and that's what will manifest, a unicorn pooping out Skittles and rainbows, because she will be a child and she will fantasize about everything just like a child, but because she's Mother Earth, she'll create it. And we will be her guardians, we will be her parents, we will be her protectors. We will be the ones creating the new earth. There will never be beings like us ever again. Millions of years will look back at this time, and will look back at you if you make the shift, and they will go, oh, Jane Doe, I heard about her. She was one of the beings that was there at the beginning when we created the new earth. One of the elders that took care of Mother Earth. I remember her. I heard about her. There will be nobody like us. Those of us who don't die and reincarnate, those of us who shift over physically, there's never going to be a time in history where there will be any group of people that will be more revered. And if you're here, it's because you are incredibly Incredibly powerful. You don't realize that yet? Great. That's why I'm here, to give you access to these tools. Go to 923.thunderwizard.com if you want the most powerful energy practice in the history of the world, and access the 5 deities, creative deities known as the elements. You become them. You do these motions that actually creates a yantra, where the being known as the ether element or the wood element, the being known as the air element or the metal, the being of the fire, the water, the earth, you call them to you and you become these powers. Go to the 90-day challenge and do the meditative practices. Learn how to open up your chi energy. Learn how to open up your kundalini energy. Learn how to open up the heart-mind energy. Learn how to combine all of those things. And please, if you hear what I'm saying, focus on who you are in the higher dimensions. Ask the light beings to show you. They will. But you better strap yourself in, because you've never experienced anything like this in the 3rd dimension. Waking up from the 3rd dimension is no easy thing. It's a lot like, the movie Matrix, when he red-pilled. People saying, "Oh my God, he's going to pop, he's going to pop." Because you are. You're going to have to let go of everything you think you know. It's no easy feat. But it is the most intense, beautiful experience. And if you do it like me, you can say, I am a hybrid. I am not the same person. I know my DNA is changing. I'm able to do things. I'm able to do things in meditation. I'm able to do things in my life. I'm able to manifest energies coming out of me and doing things that wouldn't have been possible just a year ago. And that's because literally my DNA is shifting as well as my energy. And don't focus on me. I'm just a human like you. You want what I have? You got to do what I do. Go to thunderwizard.com, subscribe, go to 923.thunderwizard.com, go to the playlists on the channel. All right, so I've babbled long enough. If anybody has a question, I'll take a look at it. Bear in mind, if you ask a question and you're not paying attention to what I'm saying, it's going to annoy me and I'm going to point it out. Ask a question that is part of what I'm talking about. The people who are most likely to get the best response from me are people who are subscribed to the 90-day challenge and they're doing the practices. I can tell. Within the first couple of words, I can tell if you're doing the practices. And so if you come on here, you're new to the channel, just be aware, I might not give you the answer that you want. So put yourself into the practices. But having said that, I'll be happy to take questions, especially from subscribers. All right. All right, so somebody, see, things are shifting. People are now, I've been teaching celestial qigong and I've been teaching some of these practices for over like 15 years now. But now, because we're in this shift, when people do the energy practices that I teach, beings are showing up. I'm going to read here. This El Biza says, "Oh my God, I can't believe you just mentioned that. Last night I did the qigong and felt someone holding my hand and guiding me throughout the practice. Once I surrendered. So powerful. Thank you." That wouldn't have happened a year, 2 years ago. It's because the veil between our reality and the reality of the light beings is getting thinner and thinner, and pretty soon it's going to be gone. Can you imagine living in a world where you see light beings walking around, where you see beings from other dimensions? We'll be able to interact directly with Sasquatch because they are an interdimensional species. We'll be able to interact with light beings and extraterrestrials and angels. We'll be able, this will just be a normal thing. I'm really excited for that. Christine Alexandria says, "I experienced on November 11th into 12th a full-blown Kundalini awakening. It was incredible." Yep. Christine says she has her place all picked out and includes flying unicorns. I look forward to seeing you flying on a unicorn. Okay, Pure Life Science is continuing on her path. Good for you. Keep it up. All right, that's it, guys. I don't see anything else, so I'm glad that you're here. And again, the difference between being miserable, like being in hell, or being in bliss, is whether or not you choose to surrender to the higher dimensional energies, taking the actions, doing the 12 steps to 5D, doing the Awakening the Immortals, the thunderwizard.com, Lightning Qigong, choosing to do the 12 steps to 5D, taking the action to look at yourself, let go of your resentments, learn how to see yourself for who you are, all the stuff that we teach. So that's it. I hope you take advantage of the tools on this channel. And for all of those of you who are doing the work, I want to thank you, because every time you go into meditation, every time you do the Qigong, every time you do the stuff that I teach, because you want to empower yourself, you empower me, because we are all connected. And that is the most important thing. If you want to show me love, do the practices, decide to shift. It also is helpful for me if you do subscribe, and if you do things like purchase the 923 or any of the other things that we offer here, because that allows me to keep the lights on. I would say probably, I'm going to say probably 1/2% of the people who watch this channel actually contribute financially. And to you, I am grateful. I wouldn't be able to do this without you. So, you know, if you want something, go get it. And the stuff that I make available is incredibly affordable, and you will not be the same. So I open that up to you. That's it, my friends. I love you all. I will see you guys all next time. Please be very good to yourselves. Until then, if the flash don't come and or I don't get beamed up to the Starship Enterprise, I will see you guys all very soon. Please take very good care of yourselves.